We're live. All right, we're live. We're live. This is a special Tuesday
Wrestle
edition.
Friends.
What's that?
Hello, Wrestle Friends.
Wrestle Friends, yes. Hello. Special Tuesday edition of the StewKast, the wrestling podcast. This is episode 23. Thank you for joining us. I am Lou Marconi at lmarconi251 on Instagram, at lmarconi1973 on X. My friend, co-host, and hetero partner at Corey Castle everywhere. You can check out our show, the Sunday Stew Pod, on Rumble every Sunday. I'm going to make sure I got more light there. And you can also check out Corey's show on YouTube called Evolving, as well as we do the StewKast. This is a Combat Zone Network show, which is a subsidiary of the Fans First Sports Network. Thank you for joining us. I think I got all that up.
I think that's a word not used enough. Subsidiary.
Subsidiary.
The sister show. Show of the Stew Pot. Sister show of Evolving and a sister show of you got Stirring the Pot every Monday night. You guys were doing that last night, did you?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did that, and that's the Brown show, and I have the Burning River Browns talk. That's on the Fanatical Ops. That's on the Fanatical.
You got so many spinning plates, and you're mentioning some, but not all.
And I still do the writing too. I write for the Fans First Sports Network, do my sports writing. So, hey guys, we're going to talk about the Monday Night Raw Netflix debut, which was last night. That's why we did this show a day early, and we just wanted to get it while it was fresh in our mind. But before we get any farther, let's do two things. I'll direct everybody to check out the details of the show. Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Click on the link. Order up some good coffee. It's a sponsor of the show. And let's also go ahead and take a moment here and pause for 3 seconds. We're going to pause here for a word from our sponsors. Thank you. All right, there we go. We're back now. Let's go ahead. Let's talk some Monday Night Raw. And Corey, do you want to do an initial thought of the whole thing, or do you want to go individual each match or each segment?
I think. Well, I want to ask a couple questions of you real quick, if you don't mind. Because I knew you were inside of Stirring the Pot while Raw was on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the live. Did you?
I had it on my phone.
Okay.
I was watching it while I was doing Stirring the Pot.
So you were just watching it, but not listening to the audio, right?
At that point, yeah, for that 35 minutes of doing that show, a lot of Browns news was breaking at that time, so we were talking about it. Yeah. Well, it's the end of the year for the NFL regular season. Right. It's called Black Monday. And so a lot of coaches were getting canned. Some like the Tennessee Titans have the number 1 pick in the draft. They're getting rid of their general manager. So somebody, they're moving on. So changes happen. NFL stands for not for long. So it's just always changes.
So like the opening video and the whole like curtains falling, you saw all that, right?
Yeah.
That was a cool promo by Triple H. That was a cool opening, a cool, like, it felt very ceremonial, and it felt very much like big, like a event, like WrestleMania big.
I think that they put on a big card for this show. Right. They wanted to get a nice pop.
Dome looked awesome. Yeah, that dome looked great.
Oh, the venue looked amazing. The production's amazing. It really, like, it was like when I'm watching the NFL on Netflix too. It was almost like watching it on a network. There's no different graphics or anything special, but it was just it was like watching.
You're gonna be watching WWE wrestling, and the production's gonna sort of be the same, but they're gonna ramp up as much. The design and the neon lights everywhere was cool. Like all in the crowd, all the red neon, and then the neon lights around the commentators table were really rad too.
Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, it was a good show. I think the weakest part of the show, I told you off air, and all due respect to him, but Hulk Hogan coming out. When I heard the Real American song hit and everything, it was cool. And then Jimmy Hart came out with him, and with all due respect, it just really, if you'd have made it all the way to the ring and cut the promo, probably would have been better. But he just came out to the ramp, and I don't know. Maybe he couldn't get to the ring. I don't know.
I think, it was maybe a contractual obligation, or the fact they had the Real American Beer on the canvas. They had that as a sponsor on the canvas. And it was just a contractual obligation to let Hulk go out there and do a promo. But since they were booing him and he wanted to, do right by the sponsor, he didn't automatically go, he just stuck with script. He didn't go, okay, yeah, boo me, sure, go. Like, it would have been funny if it been like, none of you would have been here if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for Hulkamania, if it wasn't for everything I spilled blood, sweat, and tears into this business.
Yeah, he didn't deviate to a heel promo. Yeah.
So,
Well,
Sakamiko,
yeah. I mean, yeah,
Zach Amico.
Logan Paul didn't do much, like you said.
Yeah.
What was the let me see, there's another segment too. Oh, John Cena's farewell tour and The Rock.
Well,
Those
yeah,
are
when they cut to the people who were in the crowd, they had O'Shea Jackson Jr.,
the War
Ice Cube,
Raiders.
Ice Cube's son, the War Raiders. They
Stephanie
had
was there. Stephanie.
Stephanie. They had Wale. I don't really know who that is, but I mean, he's a name that they've brought up many times. They had Rey Mysterio was there, LA Knight was there, Shinsuke Nakamura, like a bunch of the roster who wasn't on the card was just sitting in the audience, which is, kind of neat to see. Like, oh, it's not only big for us, but it's big for
Yeah.
our roster.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a big event. It was nice. Trying to think. Oh, they're also pushing Gabriel Iglesias' Netflix
Yeah,
special too.
yeah, right,
The
yeah,
fluffy guy. Yeah. He lost a lot of weight, I noticed too,
he
because I
did,
guess
yeah.
he was like I don't know if he had to do that surgery if he was on my 600-pound life, but he weighed like over 400 pounds and he had to do something about it because he was huge, or his health was really deteriorating, so he had to fix it. But good for him on that, and I hope his Netflix. I always enjoyed his comedy. I always thought he was funny, so good for him.
I
Let's
said
get into.
while
Go
that was
ahead.
going on. I said that last night while it was going on. That Gabriel Iglesias' comedy, I always thought it was hack, and I always thought like that voice that he does, it was so annoying, and I thought that just because I was annoyed by that voice, that everything was hack. But then I sat and watched his comedy, and I respected his comedy. I thought he was actually funny, and I thought like I heard him doing some appearances on some podcasts, and I was like, okay, this dude is legit. Um, but yeah, I had my prejudgments only off of like my snobby comedy opinions. But Gabriel Iglesias is great, and
Yeah, yeah.
also, I was just referring to, and I was gonna say this before I forget. Zach Amico, the stand-up comedian at Zach is not funny, posted yesterday uh, the uh, Netflix is the new N word for Hulk Hogan.
Okay. That that is funny. That is funny. Netflix is the new N word for Hulk Hogan. Cool. All right. Let's go.
And he tried to rip his shirt with one hand, and it was like the most awkward shirt rip you'd ever seen Hulk Hogan do.
I think he's struggling to do that now, but
He's like, arthritis.
well, the guy's what is he? I mean, Christ, he's got to be in his mid 70s now, right?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm
Somebody
not
leave in
sure.
the comments how old Hulk Hogan is
Yeah,
if you
well,
Google it, because
look it up.
I don't have
Yeah,
a crack research team on my.
yeah. I don't feel like googling Hogan's age, but uh, let's talk about. Let's. You want to go? You want to go in reverse order? Or you want to just do the next? Because I believe it was the Roman Reigns solo
Yeah,
Sakaya.
Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa tribal combat.
Hmm.
That uh,
Talk about it.
it kind of went. One, I was very surprised, and was a few of my friends interacting with me at the same time, talking to me about how it was surprising that was the first match. That seemed like the most marquee, but it also seemed like that needed to hook people. And they wanted to hook people early, and I think it was a smart move to put that on first,
Hmm.
because it was almost like your opener is not opening talent, not curtain jerkers. This is main event stuff. Um,
Yes.
it was epic. It was epic. The 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 run-ins were exactly what I thought was going to happen, and I mean I kind of thought there was going to be more. Like probably everybody did, like the rumors of like new bloodline members coming in and doing run-ins and the whole thing, but that didn't happen, which is fine. Like it would be tough to introduce somebody day one of their run in the debut episode of Raw on Netflix, because like you're opening up to a whole new audience. So it
Right.
might be hard to introduce a new person in that venue, in that platform.
Right, I agree. I agree. But I appreciate it. I mean, I agree with a lot of what you said. I enjoyed the match. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was it didn't. I was worried that it was going to go a little bit too far with with the violence and the extreme, but I think it pulled it back at the right time. Um, and I expected Roman Reigns to go over because it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like that's what they built up to. Um, yeah, and then you had. Do you think they're going to lead into something with him and The Rock?
What I've been saying, and I said it last night while this was going
Hmm.
on, I was like, what is going to be the follow up with Solo? Because they like kind of, I don't want to say jobbed him out at War Games, and now they had him lose the Ula Fala. What's going to happen with the
Hmm.
Bloodline? What's going to happen with Solo? Like that's
Oh,
all curious questions up in the air. It'll have people.
they'll repackage. They'll repackage him. Don't worry.
Mhm.
That's you ever heard of that? Yeah, we'll repackage you.
He'll he'll be duo instead of solo.
Yeah, duo. Well, you never know. You never know. So, Rhea Ripley won the belt. She beat
Mhm.
Liv Morgan. Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. I don't know. I would say the finish seemed. I thought it'd be a little bit more grandiose or bigger, but I mean, she won. She went over. So
Right.
kind of expected that. But what
Expecting the American Badass Undertaker to come out right at the end of
No,
that.
no, no, that was cool. And all he did was just do a pass by with a
Yeah, he
motorcycle, and that
went
was it.
around the whole ring and came to the thing and did the fist up, and then they bounced.
Yeah, yeah. I, Mark, thank you. It's like
Yeah.
so. No, I
Do
mean,
you think
I was.
do you think Kid Rock got a good Pise Dize off of that?
Oh, I think he did. Yeah, I think John Cena did. I think they all did. I
Right.
mean, they knew it was a big. They knew it was a big event. They brought out the big guns for it, including Hulk Hogan, which you know, I think Hogan gets booed for shit that people don't even know about. But what? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh, did you catch the whole beginning promo with The Rock? He was like the opening. The Rock came out after Triple H's whole opening ceremony. The Rock
I
came
didn't
out.
hear it. I saw it.
That,
I saw it.
it
Yeah.
felt so epic, and then The Rock kind of like uh, kind of shouting out Cody Rhodes and shouting out. He was like shouting out the Netflix executives who were in the audience, and he was like, if Netflix glitches at all, I'm gonna hurt you. Like he like
like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight.
yeah
It was
yeah
terrible. Oh
yeah.
God, I
So,
was expecting that to happen and it didn't. So it didn't happen. I watched it.
and then
Yeah.
what else? He he said shit. He said bullshit at one point, and
Oh, he
it
did.
didn't lead through anything. It's funny to see the difference of it being on Netflix because
Hmm.
like he get away with saying it, and there was nobody to say, "Hey, you can't do that." He's the big boss. Like he's the guy who can get away with stuff. The Rock himself has always sort of had some carte blanche to sort of say
Yeah.
what he wants and push the envelope a little further than everybody else. But to be like within the first 20 minutes of being on Netflix that he got away with saying full shit,
Ooh.
and the crowd during the opening match, they started chanting "Fu Solo," and they didn't bleep it out the way they've been bleeping out "Fu Solo" chants and "Holy
Hmm.
shit" chants. They didn't have any "Holy shit" chants at all.
I didn't hear
That I
that. Yeah, I
saw
didn't hear that.
either.
When I did have the audio on, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Interesting though. Interesting. So okay, so we went through the two of them. The other one, Seth Rollins and Uso.
No, that was the main. That
No,
was
no, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre and Uso.
Drew
Drew
McIntyre.
McIntyre.
I just called him Drew McIntyre. Like he was like
McIntyre.
he's a math teacher. Here's my name, Mr. McIntyre. Whoa, I dropped them.
What the hell did you do?
I don't know. I made a whoopsie daisy, but I'm okay. Everything's fine. But Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso, they put it out there, man. They were trying. They were working their asses off like that.
Yeah.
They were really. They were really.
I like finishes like that out of nowhere. I always do like that. Yeah.
I made the joke as they were doing it. I was like that kicked out of 3 different finishing signature moves and then ended the match with a roll up. I was like, oh god, LOL. But I mean, it had to be the way it had to be. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where Drew will go from here and where this story will go and where Jay will also progress from this. And I expected Jay to do a run in during that tribal combat, and he never did.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Suspicious by his absence.
Yeah. Now, the last match we could talk about, which was the CM Punk Seth freaking Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can get names right sometimes. So, what was your take on that? I enjoyed it. I told my wife actually watched it with me. Yeah,
CM Punk can really do no wrong in my eyes. I mean, except for when he hurts himself.
Or others. Yeah, but people get hurt. It happens.
Have you ever worked with Punk? Have you ever been on shows with him? Have you ever been interacted with the guy?
No, never. Never.
Everybody around always says that he's like a problem, but I never had a problem with him. He's always been cool to me. Like every time I was ever around him, he's always been cool. I don't get it. But like I think people hear things and then they let their prejudgments have them be aggressive towards him.
Yeah.
And I think that his like reputation precedes him and that sort of thing. But anytime I've ever been around him, he's always been really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of negatives about him, but I never met him or interacted with him, so I don't buy into any of that stuff. Interestingly enough, so but I never interacted with him, never met him or talked to him. So
that's interesting because, like,
yeah,
you were doing it, man.
I was, but but like when I was doing NWA, he was WWE, so we were never in the same place at the same time. So let's just say it that way. Interesting. That's interesting. I'm trying to think some more. Nothing. Not the thing that stood out to me, and I told my wife this, and I said I'd never want those chants that they were chanting during the Punk Rollins match, which was "This is awesome. This is awesome."
Okay. Well, I mean, they weren't wrong. It was awesome. I mean, it was.
Well, yeah, but this is me being old school, okay, and old. I'd rather have heat. I'd rather have reactions.
Neither one of them was fully a babyface or fully a heel, really.
No, like, it was just one of those. Yeah, and
tween on tween.
Yeah, and go ahead, man.
It was kind of one of those like break the rules, sort of like who's a babyface, who's a heel. I guess you could say that Punk was the full babyface and Seth was like the tweener because like they were still doing the whoa, but the fans were still cheering for him. But a lot of the fans were choosing Punk over Seth, and as far as who to actually like full balls cheer for.
Yeah, they were definitely more for Punk than they were Seth. I just think wrestling has changed a lot, especially when I first broke in. And that was like 32 years ago. So the thing that changed is that fans will chant "This is awesome" versus, "Fuck you, Solo," whatever. And yeah, I don't know. I would rather have the heat, and that's just me. It's like the argument. I remember I was watching a shoot interview with Al Snow, and he got into it with this guy because the guy was saying the best match at WrestleMania 3 was Steamboat Savage. That's all you hear.
Hogan and Andre drew the crowd.
Yeah, Hogan and Andre drew the crowd.
I remember that shoot.
Yeah. Well, people. I think people having that mindset sometimes when they get in the business and they want to have the best match on the show, or they want to work out every spot like Savage did and do all that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Hogan and Andre, I mean, they didn't talk through everything. They didn't go over everything. Hogan played cards and I mean, Andre played cards and drank all day, and then went out and did the match.
Right.
And if and from what I understood, Hogan wasn't sure what was going to happen when he went out there, and all Vince told him was Andre will take care of you, which I find that very hard to believe. But then
Right.
again, it was 1987, so it wasn't 19, you know, 2007. But go ahead.
The I think one of the things that kind of muddied up the waters of pro wrestling was fans getting too smart. I think the fact that work rate is a thing that's judged by fans and even is a word that they think they know.
Hmm.
Um, it's cheesy. It's cheesy and cut the cheese. Like the fans uh, the fans are the best part and the worst part of wrestling.
Yeah,
Well, the internet fans, at least.
yeah, yeah. They are, but it's a time we live in. It's a time we deal with, and they are
Mhm.
fans, and we appreciate them being
Yeah.
fans. We appreciate you guys for being on, for checking our shows out. And hey, we'll be back next Wednesday. I don't. I think we'll be reviewing. What's that?
Also, I wanted to mention there was a couple things that were like supposed to be rumored to happen at Raw that didn't happen. Like I heard
Go
Becky
ahead.
Lynch
Go
was
ahead.
supposed to come back. Becky Lynch was supposed to
Yeah,
come
I
back.
remember. Yeah, she wasn't there.
And I heard it while it was happening in my live comments um, was about AJ Lee supposed to come back. Oh, look, got a comment, bro,
We got a comment.
from Jake Smith on Twitter.
Oh yeah. What's this? What's he saying? So Raw on Netflix was thumbs up or thumbs down?
Overall, thumbs up, and
Thumbs up.
it was a baby face heavy night. Like
Yeah.
almost every match had the baby face go over, and that's not something you always see.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, so LOL, it's just me, haha.
Okay.
So
All right,
do
Jake.
you think thumbs down? Is that the impression that he's giving?
Is he saying thumbs down? He can.
Yeah, I mean, you're entitled to that opinion. Yes, sure
Yeah,
you
you're
are.
fine with it. Yeah, you don't like it. That's okay. I mean, we're probably watching it through a different lens than he was, but
Uh-huh.
being a former wrestlers, that will
Right.
do it.
Yeah, yeah. There's gonna be a different lens, a trained eye, and a. No,
No,
he
he
thought
thought
it
it was it was a good show.
was.
Thanks, Jake. Thanks for joining us. Hey, everybody, thank you. We like to thank you for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. I think yeah, next week we'll do Raw SmackDown reviews and go from there. Because I
Yeah,
don't think any
absolutely.
other event. Because I know another Saturday night main event's coming up, but that's later. Royal Rumble's not till February
Yeah,
1st,
right, right.
so we'll do those. We'll do those at
Also,
the allotted.
uh, I have to give mention to this.
Hmm.
It's not WWE news, but uh, I did watch the first episode of AEW Dynamite when that went to Max on.
So
I
you
watched it on the platform.
AEW's on Max now. Okay.
Yeah, yes, and they also have like year one of AEW on Max, and you can go back and watch the first year of AEW as far as all the pay per views and all the dynamites that have happened. Um, so, I mean, we'll see if that creates a new audience for them. But I think the people who watch year one versus the current
Hmm.
product, they'll be like, "This is different." No, this had every member of the audience was into everything you guys were doing in 2019, and now the crowd sits on their hands. Like they're it's almost like, have you ever been to a show where the building's too cold and everybody's hands are too cold to clap together? That that's how it feels watching an AEW show sometimes. Like the crowd
Nice.
shows up to be there to see because they're curious what's going to happen, and you'll hear here comes the train. You hear,
You're getting played off like the Oscars.
Yeah. Oh, you made your point. Shut up.
Go ahead. Are you done?
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Go ahead. I
Yeah, I'm
said go
finished.
ahead. I asked if you were done
Okay.
before I
I know.
wrap up the show.
I was making a South Park reference. I hope you understood that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for interacting with us on the show. Thanks for anybody who checked out my live yesterday as I was watching the Raw on Netflix. Thanks for everybody who supported the sponsors and helped us out. And I hope everybody has had so far a great new year and gets excited as I am for the history of the wrestling business changing for the better, ideally.
All right,
Fingers
guys.
crossed.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week on Wednesday. We did a special Tuesday episode. You guys have been great. Appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Join us anywhere. You could check us out on Spotify or Apple iPods, I should say.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple
Apple Podcasts.
iPods, Apple Podcast, I should say. Thank you all. We appreciate all of you. Thank you very much. And please feel free to always leave a comment during the show. Hey, enjoy your weekend. We'll be back with a Raw and SmackDown next week. Take care.